Cryptocurrencies have been the big hype for more than a minute. It's the industry that is turning people into millionaires every single day. But the problem is, a lot of people, they don't really understand the concept of cryptocurrencies and what they actually do. On this episode, crypto expert and entrepreneur Nik Anwer breaks down in simple terms exactly what crypto, decentralization, and NFTs are and how you can benefit from them. This is Culture TV episode 8. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Nik Nagarkar and you are locked into Culture TV. For the culture, by the culture. Let's go. Crypto, what is going on with it at the minute? It's in the news every single day. Everyone's now trying to get involved on it. People, like, obviously Bitcoin, crypto, it's been around for 10 years or so now. But now it's everywhere. Everybody wants a piece of it. People think you can make millions overnight. Can you explain to the average person who has no idea what crypto is? Can you try and explain it for us, please?
For sure, and I think you make a good point. People are making millions right now. For anyone who's watching this, don't kind of miss out on this crypto boom. You know, I've been around in this space for like 8 years now, and this is the third time this has happened. It happens again and again, and I think in terms of what crypto is, the best way to describe it is pretty much the digitalization of money. You know, we've had all these services being digitalized over the years, you know, the growth of the internet, your mobiles.
But what is the difference between, for example, how would you describe the difference between a cryptocurrency such as Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ripple, whatever, in comparison to the dollar, the pound, the yen, the ruble? Like what is the difference? How can you explain that to someone who doesn't have a clue what this is?
So it's kind of the same thing, but it isn't in a way. So currency is whatever you put a value on, you know. Gold used to be currency, now dollars are currencies, a piece of the paper. I guess the difference with cryptocurrencies is no one owns it except for you, the owner, right? You know, it's not government produced, it's not backed by any government, and it isn't restricted by any government as well in that sense. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like the new money, if you want to see it like that. You know, I mean, we had an issue a few months ago with Corona where people couldn't spend cash in shops. Yeah. You know, government stopped you doing that. Money's still worth the same. But in terms of crypto, no one will ever stop you spending it. You send it, it's gone, it's done.
But there's also nothing to stop you being robbed by someone else with it.
Right.
There's no policing of it.
So I think this is a great point. And I think this is the other side of it. When you give people responsibility of their money, they're then, you know, taking care of it. And this is kind of the difference between regular currency and, you know, let's say cryptocurrency. Once it's in your hands, you're fully responsible for it.
But what I mean is it's completely unpoliced, isn't it?
100%. I mean,
so I could say to you, right, I'm going to buy your jacket off you. I'm going to pay you in Bitcoin. And you go, right, okay. And you send me the jacket. Or I send you the Bitcoin and you never send me the jacket. I technically don't know who you are. I just have a long code for your wallet and then that's it. So can that issue ever be resolved?
It's a really good point, and I think like as someone who's been in this space a long time, I see it in a different way. So like I know when I used to send money to people via a bank transfer, I would, you know, be relying on the bank to send it to them, and I'd have no way of proving it except sending a picture of the screenshot, but that even can be faked. I think the beauty of cryptocurrency is because it's decentralized and there's a decentralized ledger. You know, once you've sent this stuff, there's a record of it online, and that can never be deleted. So, you know, on the one hand, you can lose your money. There is a trust element. But I remember when the internet first came out, me and you remember early 2000s, first time you buying something off eBay, you didn't know if it was going to come or not. You know, people can't believe that now because they're so used to it.
I still feel weird like about buying stuff on the internet.
But there you go.
If you buy it from China, there's a high chance it isn't coming anyway.
Right. And
if you buy it off Wish.
And I think the other thing with that is as well, it's always trust between two people at the end of the day. And I think this is how human nature has always worked. When you put a third party in to verify that, that third party's interests are not the buyers and the sellers or the two parties. It's theirs. And this is like the banking system right now.
Is this a fad or is it here to stay?
I'm going to say it's here to stay. You know, I've been here
Can it ever compete with real currencies?
It already is. I mean, you've got to think of it like this. When I started this, it was a joke. When I used to tell my friends, everyone would laugh about it. You know, it was just used to buy pretty much weed and drugs off the internet. That's its only use in the early days. You know, for anyone listening who remembers Silk Road, you know, the guy who got busted. That's pretty much where Bitcoin originated and got its name from, you know. And as we've gone over the years, I've now seen companies accepting it. We're now seeing Tesla kind of buying in. We're seeing MicroStrategy, you know, kind of leading the way in telling people how companies should invest. Companies have these on their balance sheet now. So it is here to stay, in my opinion. It's just what it's used for. And there's so many of them. I think it's just finding, you know, what people find in each use case to make sure it kind of stays. You know, they'll be pretty much like social media. You had your MySpace, your Facebook. We've now evolved into Instagram. And some of these are stuck around, some of them evolved, some haven't.
But the concept of social media has only grown and grown and grown. And are you saying that you think that the concept of crypto, decentralized currencies will be here to stay?
I 100% think so. And I think once you put money into people's hands and you show them the way money can be made online, you know, very much how the kind of boom in terms of online services the last couple of years, you know, no one would have thought that an influencer on Twitter would get paid. But now here we are. And the same way with cryptocurrencies, they're here to stay. It's just how you use it, what it's here for. And, you know, in terms of the progression of these things, people evaluate and associate with the price of it. You know, for me, I don't see it like that. It's the technology behind it that really values these things. So, you know, I think we're just going through that very much the same phase as what we went with the dot-com boom in the early 2000s.
NFTs, everywhere you look, NFTs, 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 every single way, everywhere I go on the internet, all I'm seeing is NFTs. Can you explain what is an NFT?
So the term NFT stands for non-fungible token. So non-fungible token. So fungible. So for anyone who's familiar with the term or not per se, let's say a cryptocurrency is divisible by so many units. A non-fungible token isn't, it's just one of a certain token. So the first use case you can think of it is...
So let me just go back to that. So what you're saying, a cryptocurrency is divisible by so many units, as in there is only ever so many of them.
Exactly.
For example, let's say Bitcoin, let's say there's only ever, I mean, I don't know what the real number is, but let's say, for example, there's only ever 1,000 Bitcoins, and the demand on them Bitcoins will either inflate or deflate the price accordingly.
Pretty much.
Okay. So what you're saying with NFTs is there's no cap on the volume of them, but they can be exchanged for services, products, tickets, access, whatever.
I would say instead of exchanged, I would say they verify a ticket or they verify a piece, you know, a piece of art, or, you know, I mean, the best example I can give right now for NFTs is, let's say, you know, we have art creators and have now evolved into digital artists. These digital artists now, the best well-known one recently was Beeple, and he ended up digitalizing his work and sold it as an NFT, as a one-of-one copy, so no one else would get the same, very much as a Mona Lisa or a Van Gogh. And he ended up selling that piece for $69 million. Now, the money isn't the important part. I think it's a transition of people understanding.
So let's just break down that one a little bit more then. So this guy, he created this piece of art and then he sold it for NFTs. So
he sold it as an NFT.
Right, so explain how he did that then.
So pretty much it's a digitalized version of his art. So it represents, that NFT represents his art and is associated to it. And it's on the blockchain to say, right, we can verify that this piece of art was made by this artist and it was put on the blockchain at this date.
Right.
So it's very much how, you know, we have traditional art and it's sold by Christie's and it's verified and there's certificates. We now think of that moving into a digital age, and this is where this NFT starts to come in. You know, a non-fungible token means there's only one of those, or however many are issued. And when they are transferred, it's transferred as a single item to another individual. So there's a chain of ownership with it. And a really good example is when you're selling art or you're buying a collector's piece, you really want to know that that's legit, authentic, you know, however you want to see it. And you also want to see the chain of ownership. So let's say it's an ancient piece from the early 1900s. It's been sold 2 times in its history. You want to see, okay, where's the certification to confirm that? With the NFTs, it's pretty much going down that road. But this is only one use case of it, you know? I mean, we're now seeing music come on the blockchain. You know, as very much we had the revolution with
Streaming.
with streaming from CDs to downloads. We're now having the same thing with music coming online, so it's not copyrighted. And
so how does that work for musicians, and how can a musician benefit from NFTs?
So let's say right now a musician is releasing his music and he wants to do a limited edition, right? Right now he has to go through his record label, there's commissions involved.
Digital limited edition or physical limited edition?
It could be both, you know, he could issue both. So he could give a physical CD, could also give an NFT with it as well as a collector's item. You know, we're pretty much just scratching the surface with these things, I guess. I mean, where we are with NFTs remind me of when I got into crypto in 2013 with where we were with Bitcoin and altcoins. We're pretty much in that early phase right now.
So do you think NFTs are the future, or do you think it's a fad?
We could say both, but I mean, I'm going to say it's here for the future because cryptocurrencies are already so established. People know what the use case for these NFTs can be and how you can integrate them with real world companies and products. And like I said, certification is the most simple one that comes to mind straight away.
Can it become mainstream?
It already is.
But can it become mainstream?
It already is. I mean, look, I'll put it like this. You know, when you see guys like Snoop Dogg, Boy George releasing NFT music tracks, you know, when you see the New York Stock Exchange making NFTs to release with, you know, coin listings or, you know, share promotions. And you know, I'm thinking there's so many, I can't even reel them off the top of my head.
It's definitely the start. When you've seen it on the stock exchange, you know it's the start of a trend.
100%. And you know, I'll put it like this. So Coinbase was released, its IPO happened yesterday, which for anyone who doesn't know is a share listing.
Yeah.
I never would have believed Coinbase would get to a point where it's a $100 billion company.
Really? Coinbase is $100 billion?
100 billion. And the ironic thing is, right, so I remember their share, right? There you go. Now, the thing is, people are now seeing the value of, okay, this new blockchain economy, how can I make money off this? I don't need to invest in coins. Can I invest in companies? Can I even start my own company? You know, I mean, I'm a big advocate of that. And
you've got your own business within crypto. Right,
so I'm glad you brought this up. And as someone who's been in this space for a few years and, you know, seeing the pumps and dumps and the speculation and, you know, for reference for anyone listening, I got into Bitcoin when it was $80.
Right.
So it's a long way from where it was now.
Yeah, $80 per
Bitcoin, right? I mean...
And you had loads of them, right?
Right, well, yeah, I mean, that's another story for another time. Unfortunately, I don't now, guys. That's why I'm on this podcast instead of, you know, sitting on a beach somewhere and being on a Zoom. But, you know, that's kind of where we're at right now in terms of...
How many did you have at one point?
I don't want to say, because it's an arbitrary number. And I always put it like this. Your wealth in crypto, when it's digital, is not a reflection of your wealth as a person.
Do you regret getting rid of them? Then you lose some.
Yes, and you know, again, we talked about like a custody of ownership, right? Yeah. Anyone who gets into this space, just be prepared to mess up, right? Yeah. You know, no one is going to keep all the money in this space, whether it's via investing, whether you lose it, whether you get robbed.
And the thing is they're just on a hard drive. You lose that hard drive.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, when I first bought my first Bitcoins, they were online. So this is before digital wallets existed. Yeah. And I used to wake up at 3 a.m, checking this website to see if they were still there. And you can't live like that. But things have changed now. But again, you know, the number one kind of issue with people losing money in this space is often to do with losing their own coins. It's not to do with price fluctuation. It's the actual management of
Can it ever be secure?
It can. And it comes down to the individual. You know, just the way you have a pin lock on your phone, just the way you have a lock on your door, you know, just the way you have CCTV at home, the more precautions you take on your belongings and your ownership, the more safe you're going to be. So first thing would be, you know, like not disclosing how many Bitcoins you have. You know, that's always a good starting point. Second thing is as well, in terms of like, you know, management of these things, just always be prepared for a worst case scenario. Let's say tomorrow I'm not here, my wife needs to get access to my crypto. If I haven't written these things down for her, I haven't given a guide to show her how to use it, she's not even going to know where to look. You know, everything that people work for would just disappear in a heartbeat, you know. So, yeah, I mean, in that sense, I think it can be secure, but it's down to the individual. You know, some people don't take the caution.
Can you explain decentralization? Because a lot of people don't understand this.
Okay.
I was having this conversation the other day with someone he was saying, well, what is the point of it? I said, well, it's a decentralized currency. And I think the vast majority of people don't even understand that there is a centralization for there even to be a decentralization.
Exactly.
So can you kind of explain what decentralization is?
So the best example I will give, let's say someone is watching this podcast, you see it on YouTube. That's a central server, it's a central company. If they decide not to show this program, if they want to take it down, they can do so in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Let's think of it on a bigger scale. The website YouTube is probably hosted on a server owned by AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. So again, that's centralized. If Amazon goes down tomorrow, they have a glitch, your website's going to be down. So that's like a centralized, example. Again, same with your money. You have pounds in your pocket, you have dollars. That's centralized money issued by the government, and they're the ones who control it. Decentralized is very much going back to like, if anyone used to use streaming and peer-to-peer services back in the early 2000s, Torrent, BitTorrent, Napster, these kind of things. Decentralization meant there was no one in the middle. It was between me and you. There was no one else controlling that. And the strength of the network was the people using it.
Right.
So with crypto, decentralized basically means that the government doesn't own it. The people don't own it. This is a network that's controlled by the miners, or if it's non-mined, but traditionally Bitcoin has miners controlling it. And the strength of the network is basically how many people that spread across. So I'll put it like this. If government wants to take down Bitcoin tomorrow, and all the miners are in the UK, and there's 100 and everyone has their address, government could go around tomorrow and just rip out all these miners and stop it.
Yeah.
If there's 100,000 across the world, and you don't know where they are, and these are all individual people, how is a government as a collective globally going to stop this? They can't.
Or police it,
They can't, and there you go. And the policing is the main element, because in the early days, the government didn't care because the value wasn't that much.
Yeah.
As the value's gone more and more, they want to control it because they don't want millionaires made without them getting their share. Whether it's taxation, whether it's control. One of the things people find in this space when they make a lot of money is getting it out into their bank account and spending it.
Getting into dollars or pounds.
And it's hard to account for that because.
And how could someone do that? Let's say you're new to crypto, you've started investing in it, you've made some money. How can you then? You've now got all this value in crypto. How can you then convert that into pounds or dollars?
So the process now is a lot more simple than maybe what it was a few years ago. You can do it via exchange, but again, you're gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops to do this.
In what sense?
Account from where it came from, provide all the documentation in terms of your trades.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you've got to show all the trades that you've made to accumulate that wealth.
100%. And I think it's ironic because most of the people who get into crypto do it because they're a little bit rebellious, but no one's that rebellious where, they want to go to jail for tax evasion.
Yeah.
And I think something that didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago that now potentially exists for people now.
And would you pay like total income tax on what you on the exchange?
I mean, I guess for anyone listening who's here is based in the UK, it would be a capital gains tax. This varies from country to country, but
is that what it's considered, capital gains?
Capital gains, yeah. So again, I think the government have just recently released a new guideline on how this is taxed. So for myself, I'm a company, I get paid in crypto, I have to pay it as income tax.
Yeah.
If someone's investing in this, they will be charged as capital gains.
So do you only deal? So with your business, does it only trade in cryptocurrencies?
100%. I mean,
no pounds or dollars exchanged.
We don't want to, and the reason why is, I guess, one of two things: is we're in crypto, why not take it, right? We believe in this stuff, and the second thing is we work globally, we work remotely. People are only finding what a remote or global working environment's like since Corona. We've been like that since day one in crypto. There is no customer support numbers. There is no, helplines. This is all remote. This is all done on, community channels, Discord, Slacks. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, one of the key reasons why we take it is it opens up our user base globally. And for anyone listening to this podcast who does have a business, does face restrictions with payments, with fees, start accepting crypto. It'll cost you nothing to add it onto your website as a payment method. In terms of, cash.
How can they? So that's a good point. So like, if more and more businesses do start accepting crypto, there needs to be a system of exchange that's more easier to get through. Because like you were saying, it's at the minute you got to jump through a lot of hoops to get there.
So good question. And I think just on that point, again, things evolve all the time. There's now apps where if you're a business user, you can choose the option to be cashed in straight away. So you've got no price fluctuation on the goods and services you sold. For those that want to keep it in crypto, they can do. We recently saw Tesla accepting payment for their cars in Bitcoin and they're actually keeping it. So I think there's a big change in terms of people wanting to hold this stuff as a portion of their balance sheet. And I think this is the key thing. You know, people invest in this because they want to become rich. But if you're a company out there right now and you're thinking about your cash reserves and what they're doing in the bank and its worth, invest some of it into crypto. I will say it now, there is a volatile asset. You will have a price fluctuation, but the appeal for your company grows, but also, you know, for your funds and keeping them safe, you're now the custodian. You're not at risk of a bank going down. You know, one thing I really want to bring up in this, it might sound like a long story, but I think this is the key thing that really got me believing about Bitcoin. So when I first got into this in 2013, if anyone remembers, there was a banking crisis in Cyprus. It was known as Grexit before Brexit. So Greece and Cyprus. I remember when I first bought my first Bitcoin, about a week in, I used to use a forum called Bitcoin Talk for anyone who knows it. For anyone who don't, it's a great source of information for a newbie. But I remember reading a story on there, and I'll try and dig it up for you so you know you can see it. I will post it in the description. But the guy was a business, and he had 900,000 euros in his business account. And the one day, randomly, the Cyprus government came in, took that money out of his account without his consent, and left him with 100 euros.
What?
Right?
So wait, he had nearly €1 million.
Nearly €1 million.
And they took it all?
All of it. And just...
For what reason?
The government could take it. They passed the legislation and there was no approval from the people.
But your money's not yours?
Basically, you know, and I always say this, we live in a very stable environment here in Western Europe, you know, especially the UK, right? It's pretty much the same as the US. You never, especially after Corona, you never know what happens tomorrow.
That's the thing, right? We think it's stable, but how stable is it?
Right. You know, I mean, me and you were around. Me and you were around in 2008 when the banking crisis happened. You know, for anyone listening, there's people waiting outside banks to get the money out. You didn't know if they were going to close the doors by the time you come to the front of the queue. You
know what? One of the first things I did during when all this kicked off, probably because of you scaring the shit out of me, but I rang the bank and said, "Is my money safe?" I actually did, because of our WhatsApp group chats. I swear I rang the banks and was like, "I've got everything in the world in there." And they're like, "No, well," and then you know what? They didn't actually give me a straight answer, you know?
Because they can't.
They didn't. They said, "Yeah, we think everything's safe." We think.
There you go. And you know, and I put it like this: once you've managed your own money and it's yours, you'll never trust a bank ever again. You never will, because you know, anyone who's trying to take a significant amount, more than a couple of thousand out at one time, you have to go through like a questionnaire. It's like, what? Give me my money. You know, the whole premise of you giving money into a bank and then paying you interest is you're loaning it to them in effect.
I paid like, I think it was 20 grand in cash into the bank once, right? And I was getting calls.
There you go.
Off fraud squad. Like, what are you do? Where's this money from? And like, what are you doing with it? And obviously, I showed the invoice, like the payment, rare. But it does go. Yeah, I know what you mean. It does go to show that we're not really in control of our finances in this current society to an extent. But as the world's becoming more and more extreme, and we're becoming more polarized as a people, it's going to create more conflicts. And what is going to be the outcome of those conflicts on the finance sector? Who knows? Do you know what I mean? Which I think is probably why crypto is having the boom that it's had. But it's been having a boom for ages, hasn't it?
I mean, it reminds me of the internet, right? It was all speculation in the beginning, and then once people understood its use case and they started building these eBays and Googles and things like this, inevitably use cases then get built on the first use cases. You have your second and third and fourth, and right now we're seeing so many ideas coming out. And I think the one thing I really want to bring up to anyone who's interested in getting into crypto, you do not have to spend a penny to get involved in this space. Money is given away every day for free.
So we were talking about that before. Can you explain that to someone who's just getting into it now? What you mean by that?
Right. So because this is still a very small industry and it's in its infant stages, there isn't any regulation around it. And as a result, projects start up every day. So me and you could have an idea right now. After we're done on this podcast, within half an hour, me and you could spin up a token. Because I've got a recruitment company, I could hire 3 or 4 devs for us to get going. And pretty much within a week, we could have a token out there. People are buying it. We've got a pre-sale.
And trading with it.
And you got $1 million company overnight, pretty much.
Is it really as simple
It's
as
as
that?
simple as that. I'm telling you guys now, for anyone listening, right? Just Google cryptocurrency airdrop.
Yeah.
And you will see that you can get money for free in this space. You know, we talked about memes before
Yeah.
and NFTs.
Yeah.
There's actually an NFT called Meme, right? And the idea was people were making memes in crypto. They thought they'll make an NFT out of it. They'll make limited edition ones.
Yeah.
The guy gave away 300 meme to everyone who got involved into this.
Right.
That 300 meme, just off the top of my head, is probably worth around about $900,000 right now.
What the entire market cap?
No, the airdrop that was given away to people. So if you got involved in this and you got given that 300 meme,
How much would that be worth?
it's right now, just off a rough guess, the last time I checked it, let's say above $900,000.
What, for 300 memes?
For 300, so 300.
So they would have made you a millionaire.
Pretty much, and it's not even been a year,
Wow.
right? And this is what I say. So this is when I say to people, until you're in this space, you
that
don't
was
know.
an airdrop?
Airdrop, and I've seen it happen again and again.
Wow, so they just gave away 300 memes. So if you one of them people who got that 300 meme, you'd be sat on 900 grand.
Right, you know, I mean, pretty much that's a nice house for anyone in the UK. Unless you're living in London, that's very comfortable.
Even in London, you're gonna get
Do you know
a
what I
nice
mean? You're getting
one-bedroom flat.
You're getting at least something. But I mean, the moral of the story is, you know, that's exceptional. That's like on the extreme. But this happens regularly. I mean, there's one given away last week called Cope.
Yeah.
And the idea is, it was another meme token for people who missed out on these other ones. They were like, cope with it. You know, it's basically a meme in this space in itself. So they gave it away. Now, that's worth over 12 grand right now.
For each one?
For the airdrop value, for whatever you got to give it.
So if you signed up to that last week.
I'm telling you, I missed it. I am telling you now, right?
Did you miss it?
Yeah, and the only
Did you
reason
miss the meme one as well?
Yeah, I missed a lot of these, but it is what it is. And I'll put it like this, right? Young,
you can't sign
old,
up to every airdrop.
You can't, but at the end of the day, you know, if you dedicated 2 hours of your life to this every Sunday, every week for the next 6 months, I guarantee there is no way you would not get something that equates to your annual salary.
Do you reckon?
In that, I guarantee it. And Nick, I know this market. I know how. I say it now. When this meme, I can maybe even pull up the
So you're
tweet.
telling me that if the average person gave 2 hours up on a Sunday afternoon to dedicate to crypto
airdrops
to get just
airdrops alone,
they earn the equivalent of like 25, 30.
Right, what's the annual salary right now? 26, 28k or something?
Like that,
I guarantee
average.
you could earn that in 6 months. What's that? 500 quid a week? Yeah, over 6 months, $1,000 a week. Yeah, easy, light work.
Just getting
airdrops alone, I'm telling you.
Wow.
And again, I don't want to touch on this too much around the price speculation and making money off it, but people can look what's happening out there right now. I've known guys that have turned $10,000 into 10 million in the last 6 months. Now, I'm not one of these guys, but at the end of the day, they exist, and all they've done is just dedicate themselves.
In 6 months?
In 6 months.
Wow.
Right? Even less probably, you know, they've just not talked about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously that's an issue in
10K
itself.
10k to 10 mil.
Right? And it's happening again and again, you know. The conversation we had off air with this right now, if someone asks, should I invest in cryptocurrencies? I'm like, hell yeah, for the next 6 months, do it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a phrase in this space called aping in.
Yeah.
The reason is the lower IQ you've got, the less you think about it, the more you end up making. Now, this doesn't last forever. I mean, it's another meme in this space. Just be an ape. If you think about it and you come back to the next day, it's gone, it's done. You know, you're not going to be one of the guys who made the money off it. You're probably going to lose. And on that note, like, you know, the next 6 months, where are we now? Kind of like spring 2021. I'm guaranteeing now the next 6 months of this space, up until probably October, November, December, it's going to keep going up.
So what's going to happen is more and more people get into crypto. What is that going to do to the market?
So
is it going to ruin it? Is it going to make it harder to earn money? Or is it going to make it easier? Like, what's going to be the outcome of that?
Ironically enough, the more money that
people
comes
like you promoting it so much.
So ironically enough, right, we have this kind of like curve. You have like a bell cycle, right? It's like everything, you know, the adoption curve, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The early guys who take the risk, you know, the guys who bought it at $100, they're probably not even here now, you know, because they made money off it, right?
Yeah, they're chilling now.
Right, they're chilling. You have the guys who come in 2016, 2017. They got a little taste of this in that last cycle, but they lost a lot of money in this space. And they stuck around for 3 years because they wanted to get it back. Now, these are the guys I'm saying that have turned 10K into 10 million. You know,
the guys
they're done.
from the 2017
The
guys.
last cycle. So if you're getting involved right now, yes, you will make money unless, you're super greedy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say stick around here for another 2-3 years chucking money in.
Yeah.
Make some money now for the next couple of months. And the best thing you can do is change your lifestyle. If you don't like your job right now, look for a job in crypto. You'll make money at the same time, so you can facilitate your change.
Yeah.
If you want to set up a business, you've always had an idea and you want to do it in crypto. Because if you're going to do it right now. And also, value the money that comes through.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake that people make, start making a year's salary from one coin and they're thinking this is going to go on forever. It don't. I'm a testament to that. And if you can really change your life with this, with a set amount, then you won't think. People will sit here and say, I want to make 10 million.
Yeah.
Okay, it can be done, but you're probably too late to the party to do that now in this cycle.
So if someone is new to crypto and they want to get into it, what would be your advice to them? Is what should they be investing in? Which coins do you think have got the most potential? And what would be your just general advice for them now?
So first thing, get yourself a Twitter account. The whole industry's on Twitter. Look for crypto Twitter, just hashtag it, see what comes up, follow the guys.
Yeah.
It becomes a lifestyle rather than a social media platform.
Yeah.
Second thing, you need to get yourself some exposure to crypto. You'll never really kind of get into the space if you don't hold anything.
Yeah.
So first thing I'd recommend is download Coinbase, go on Binance, go on any other exchange. Get yourself £100 worth of crypto to get started.
Which coin specifically would you advise?
I always say just get Bitcoin. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Anyone who bought at the end of 2017 is now still massively in profit 3 years later. So even if you have to hold on to it for a few years and make money, you're still going to do it. Ethereum, yes, you can say there's a lot of stuff being built on it, but if you want my advice,
explain that. There's a lot of talk about Ethereum and stuff being built on it. Can you explain what that means?
Very much so. So it's very much like a generation 2 cryptocurrency. So you had Bitcoin, which is your Gen 1, your Web 1.0, so to speak, your old school websites.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers, it doesn't do anything more aside from a storage of value and being able to send to people. Right. It doesn't do anything aside from that. When Ethereum came in 2015, it really revolutionized everything because now people were able to make smart contracts and build those on top of the Ethereum network.
Right.
So you now get the security of the Ethereum network for you to build your decentralized application, your decentralized website, your goods and services, whatever it would be, your currencies.
Explain that in explain that to me like I'm a 5-year-old. What that means, like a smart contract.
Okay, so the way I can explain it is a smart contract is basically an agreement written in code. So how code's taken over everything in the last 10, 20 years in front of our eyes, everything's automated now, you trust it.
Yeah.
It's very much the same with a smart contract. Instead of me having to, let's say, hire a lawyer in between me and you to do a deal, why don't we write a smart contract? Why don't we use one that's existing? If you want to do a transfer of value, let's say the example you gave before about sending goods, how about putting an escrow into the smart contract so it's only released once you've confirmed you've received the goods.
And that can all be done on the Ethereum network.
It can be done on the Ethereum network's the biggest one, but as the beauty of crypto, people copy stuff all the time. Yeah. So you're now getting more and more networks coming up doing the same thing. And I'm predicting that this will again be a sea change in how we do things, but you won't know that it's being used. So let's say me and you are both looking for a house right now, right? Yeah. Gonna end up paying a couple of grand to a solicitor for what? The guy's gonna download a form and email things, fill it in, send it to you on email back, and he's gonna charge you £2,000 for it.
This is the thing, like with solicitor, lawyer fees and solicitor, they're just going off templates.
Right, that's it.
They're just changing the name at the top.
This is it, Nick.
And tweaking a few sentences.
This is it, and this is how industries are gonna change with smart contracts. Yeah. There'll be no need for a middleman in between. Yeah. Me and you can trust code. Yeah. We can get it done between ourselves. And imagine the saving for industries all over the world. I seen just recently the guys who bought Asda, they paid 6.9 billion for it. Yeah. 165 million in fees.
How much?
165 million.
In fees?
In fees alone.
In lawyer fees?
Lawyer fees, solicitors, banking, whatever, right?
Fucking hell.
Geez,
a lot of fees, that. And what were they doing for 165
million? There you go.
What cost 165 million in pen pushing?
Right. It's either the trust or the expertise or a combination of the both.
Yeah.
10 years from now, I guarantee it, smart contracts will replace this whole kind of industry of trusting people, paying them fees for their knowledge.
Do you think smart contracts will become mainstream?
They already are. We're just not seeing them. Through my line of work, I get the benefit of speaking to candidates who are working at leading banking organizations, leading tech firms. If I mention them, people would know them straight away. Yeah. And these guys are building it. You just don't know about it yet.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, even Spotify recently, I seen they were hiring for a blockchain engineer. Now, unfortunately, they're not hiring through me, so I can talk about it. But as soon as I seen that, the first thing that come to mind is what we was talking about with music, streaming, it going digital.
Yeah.
They don't want to be left out when artists can do this on another platform. They're already preempting it.
Right.
You know?
So where do you predict this whole thing going?
It's crazy, right?
5 years from now, how do you see the
Let's
landscape?
work on this year alone. So anyone who's listening to this podcast, just ape in right now. You've still got a couple of months. You know, this isn't financial advice, but I'm telling you, someone who's been here.
Yeah.
If you want to make some money right now, don't stand on the sidelines and just watch it go up. You'll feel really upset. Choose the amount of money in your mind that you can afford to lose to risk. Chuck that in tomorrow. As soon as you've listened to this podcast, don't even think about the price. Just do it.
Just get in.
Honestly, I'm going to tell a funny story, right? Some guy asked me what crypto should I buy, and this was about 8-9 months ago. Remember when lockdown first happened and we was worried about what things were going to happen?
Yeah.
And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, buy Dogecoin. And he was like, what? Dogecoin, Dogecoin, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much the biggest meme coin out there. And he was like, are you serious? I go, just do it. Don't even look back. In 5 years now, when it's hit $1, you'll thank me. You know, when you're a millionaire off Dogecoin, you'll ring me up and you'll be sitting in your mansion driving your nice car and you'll be like, I can't believe I've been...
And did he buy it?
No. Right? This is the funny thing about it. He's now ringing me every other day saying, oh, the price of these things, why didn't you make me buy it? I'm like, I can't force you to do it. But if you don't do it then, the second best thing you can do is do it now.
Would he have made a lot on Dogecoin then?
He would have been a millionaire by now.
Really?
Yeah,
in 9 months?
100%. When I say this, it may not even just been off Dogecoin. It may have been money he made off that. He chucked into something else. But we can laugh about this right now because it's funny to me. But I'm seeing millionaires come up overnight, right? And the funny thing is, they're still regular guys. None of them's bought a new house, new car, nothing, because they're worried about what we talked about before, you know, cashing this out, the impact on their family. Is it real? So,
is it real?
Is it real? I'm telling you now, you know. The guy I was talking about...
That's what people be thinking, like, is this even fucking real?
I'm telling you.
It's like some digital code on a hard drive and it's got a value, like, it's crazy.
People who are going to listen to this are going to say, that guy's chatting shit. I'm telling you now, the moment you jump on crypto Twitter and you see what these people are doing, you will not be a non-believer anymore. You'll just be wanting to absorb as much knowledge as you can. Yeah. ASAP, you know. And what we talked about, like, plan next 6 months before the end of the year, get in and get out. Yeah. We're probably inevitably going to have another bear market in this industry like there always is. Yeah. And when that happens, people get really depressed, they sell the coins. You don't want to be one of those guys at that point.
Do you think there'll ever be a time where you can go into a standard shop on the street and pay with a crypto card?
You already can. I mean, I've not got my wallet with me, but I've got a crypto payment card right now.
Where can you use it? Anywhere.
It's pretty much a MasterCard backed card. So if anyone wants it, I'll leave my link in the referral, crypto.com. But but yeah, I mean, you know, we're already seeing this sea change now.
So you can so with your card, you could go into Shell,
already doing
into McDonald's. Whatever,
buying things, exactly, you know.
And what is it? Just converting it into pounds and then taking it?
Exactly. So whatever you've got on your card, on your balance in crypto, it will just convert it immediately.
And what are the tax implications for that?
So in terms of, like, if it's your income and you've already paid income tax on it.
Is that not a loophole around it?
No, not at all. I mean, it's basically like that money's in your account and it's been declared for. There's no issue on it. Like you said, once you've proved where it's come from, no one ever asks.
Right, okay. So you couldn't, that'll come from your, like your Coinbase wallet or something
Coinbase or, you know, whatever, you transfer it into your crypto.com wallet, that's how they work. But there is other companies who do the same thing, like exchanges. You said there's a Binance card, there's FTX. So times are changing, and yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to kind of hype this up too much because people out there, it's chatting shit, man. But it's true. Yeah. I'm seeing guys now who never knew about crypto having a 10-minute conversation with them and they're now telling me they've made money. Yeah. Right? If them guys are making money and you didn't know about it, anyone can.
I think the sick thing about it is it's just full of opportunities.
Yes.
And I think wherever there's opportunity, it's only a positive thing, isn't it? Of course. Just don't get robbed.
Just don't get robbed. First thing, don't get robbed. Don't get hyped. Don't get scared. Yeah. And in terms of opportunity, look, I've seen the growth of the mobile industry. I've seen the growth of social media. I've seen the growth of the internet. Yeah. This is the only industry I've ever seen, maybe because I'm hands deep in it, you know, and I'm in this every day, and I have been for a long time, but the only opportunity I've seen where two guys can have a conversation on the internet across the world and don't even know each other's face. They don't even know each other's name.
Yeah.
The next day they can set up a company, and the week after that they can raise in excess of $1 million and build whatever their dream was.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I'm telling you, you know, I see it happen every day. I mean, like I mentioned, I'm a recruiter in this space. I have a recruitment platform. Half of my day is spent guys messaging me on Telegram saying, hey, Digi is my user handle, by the way. And, hey, Digi, I've got a company, can you hire me this guy? And I'm like, sure we can. Within a couple of weeks, the guy's launched his company and he's built whatever he needs to build. And it's like, what? How?
Yeah.
This is crypto. We get used to it. We move fast. Nothing stops us.
Yeah.
If something's a barrier, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever stopped us in that sense. And yeah, I mean, you know, opportunity, just the worst thing someone could do listening to this podcast is just not even take the time to read into it.
Yeah.
Whether that's investment, whether it's opening a business, whether it's changing your career into crypto. And on this note, I really want to talk about that just as maybe like something before we wrap up. Everyone's been affected by Corona over the last year, one way or the other. Whether you've had a wage cut, whether your business has gone down, whether you've actually lost your job, whether you've had to retrain. Crypto is the only economy I know right now that is hiring at record pace. These guys cannot get staff quick enough, especially experienced ones. Now, we were at a time where you needed a lot of crypto experience to do the stuff. Now, we're so evolved that as long as you've got real world experience and a bit of initiative and drive, you can transition your job into this space. And people always ask me, where do I start? And I start at the bottom, right? The bottom paid job in crypto is a community manager at $40,000 and more. $40,000 is probably more than the UK national salary.
Yeah.
And that job, all it is you sit on your phone all day on Telegram and you just type in responses to people in these Telegrams and Discords and social.
But you've got to know what you're replying.
You don't, look, I'm going to say it like this, Nick. You need to have common sense, right? But anyone can learn this. I mean, we're laughing right now. But I've seen guys with the most worst English that you can get, you know, literally do not even speak English. They're using Google Translate, it's clear. These guys
and copy and paste it from Google Translate.
So this is, again, like, there's nothing stopping you. You're online, you're fully remote. Like, I know guys
people
who
getting paid 40 grand a year for that.
For one job. So I deal with these guys on a daily basis. I know guys doing 3 or 4 of these community manager jobs, earning
really
6-figure salaries, Nick. So I'm laughing about it, But I swear to God, it's
using
true.
Google Translate.
Using Google. Okay, maybe that's an extreme example. The ones who get good at it can do 3 or 4, right? But I'm telling you right now, this is the most simplest job you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah.
You're doing it from your phone. You can travel the world while you're doing it, so there's no restriction. And as long as you have internet connection, you can respond in that Telegram. You can do that job.
That's crazy.
And moving up.
It just goes to show what level of opportunity there is out there.
100%. And on the other side of it, if you're a professional guy and you've already got experience, let's say you're a developer, you're a marketer, you're business development, anything graphic design, the transition into this industry is not hard and the pay is fantastic. For anyone listening out there who knows the exchange Binance, we speak to a lot of their candidates, because they're the biggest company in crypto, but we speak to a lot of people working there. And they tell us that they get paid in BNB. So I'm like, what? This guy's got paid in BNB and this has gone up 10 times since January. So you're now talking
so he's getting like a 40, let's say for example, you're getting 40 grand's worth of BNB, but it's growing in value at record-breaking speed.
Where do you know in any industry?
Could be on like 200 grand a year.
I know people who are on that. Yeah, exactly. I know people who have earned this in the last 6 to 9
months. But there's an element of luck to that though.
Right, and when you say that, it's a good point, because luck is what you make it, but it also means being in the right place at the right time in a sense. Bad luck.
And I think, I'm not a big believer in luck, I'm more a believer in like educated guesses.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think the more you school yourself and you build your knowledge base up on this subject, the more chance of being in the right place at the right time
100%.
you're gonna have. So you can create your own luck.
It's true. And
in that sense.
Sometimes it's about taking that step, you know. I often compare this industry to like doing something for the first time. Once you've done it, you find out it didn't kill you. And at the end of the day, maybe, you didn't like it, but you didn't know until you tried it, right? And then if you do like it, you're just going to keep doing more and more of it.
No, it's definitely probably one of the biggest opportunities for people trying to make new money now.
100%.
And without having a lot of resources to start a new business. This is the good thing about crypto is you can get in with very little amount of money, and you can get in with no money.
Nothing.
Like I mean, you're saying, like it's
nothing.
You can get on the airdrops, and that builds you wealth.
It's true. I mean, I've not put a penny into crypto since 2013. I don't need to, you know.
Really?
Why would I? I mean, these companies pay you. You can make money off it. And, you know, on that note, what you said, like, you literally can get started with nothing. You can start a company. I mean, I've had 3 companies in this space. All of them I've started with less than $500, and that's just been for a website template, a guide to do some graphic designing, and that's it. Basic startup. It costs you nothing. You know, the best thing you can do in having this space, and the overriding feedback we get from all the clients we speak to on our podcast and when we do, you know, calls with them to find out what they're looking for, all they say is, I don't care about your qualifications, I don't care about your background, I don't care about how old you are, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, don't care if you're well-spoken. All we care about is that you're willing to learn new things and do stuff that you don't know.
And be open-minded.
Be open-minded. You know, and on this note, again, I want to talk about like the opportunity. I've never known anything like crypto. What's so universal for everyone to get involved, regardless of your gender, your educational status, your race, religion, anything.
It's all irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all cats and dogs on Twitter, and anyone who knows what I mean, you're basically just an anonymous avatar in this space. No one sees who you are. They respect you for your intellect and your personality. And because of that, you make long-lasting friendships with people that you may have never interacted with.
It breaks down a lot of social barriers, doesn't it?
100%. 100%.
And I think as I just keep saying this, because I don't know, something I just keep seeing and becoming more real to me is that as society is becoming more and more polarized, this is like, it's kind of like a way of it all bringing it back together again as well, isn't it?
100%. I mean, you mentioned about the polarization, right? And the funny thing is, when you make money together, there is no polarization. So I often find that people don't like other people.
You don't care what sex, gender, race, religion someone is. When you're getting money together,
it's one big party, man. It's funny because we're talking about this now. Right now, only because of Corona and people are not allowed to travel. I'm telling you now, if this was a normal cycle in crypto, you'd be seeing crypto millionaires in Lamborghinis, on yacht parties, buying islands. It would all be happening right now. You know, and this is like just a kind of like manifest of like, when people grow things together, there's a sense of unity, and this is what this industry feels like. Anyone who got in early and made money off it, you don't care about the next guy. You're like, I did this together with him. You know, it's a sense of camaraderie. It's like supporting a football team in a sense. You know, you're loyal to them and you don't care about the outside world. You'll defend any criticism because you love them and you have a passion for it. So,
man. So get in is your advice.
Get in. I'm telling you now, after this podcast is finished, you're listening to this, go onto Coinbase, just buy it. Don't even think about it. I mean, okay, maybe not go in Dogecoin like I told my friend because it's too late. Buy yourself some crypto. Just Google cryptocurrency airdrops. Get yourself a wallet set up and start getting this stuff in your pocket. It won't last. It won't be here in a year's time like it is now.